Hey, everybody, welcome to Each on the News. We've got a very interesting topic today. We're going to be talking, of course, about artificial intelligence, but how it pertains to MSPs and how they're leveraging it and their clients and so on. But my guest today is Manuj Aggarwal. He's a founder of TetraNoodle. And if you check them all out, this is one of those AI gods, my friend. They know what's going on. They've been at it for a while, and they're using it every day in their lives. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen his presentation. I've seen what he's done, and it's remarkable. So what are we doing today? We're going to talk about how we can help MSPs to, I don't know, let's build an AI agent for them, at least leverage AI better for themselves. And then later on, we'll talk about how they can actually take this out to their clients. But Manoj, let's welcome first of all.
Well,
How are you
thank you so
doing?
much. Excited to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
Good stuff. Well, let's talk about the MSP world that we're dealing with. So here's an MSP buying and selling technologies every day, working 60, 70, 80-hour weeks, having a challenge in their life. And the question is, can AI really help them to give them back time and maybe more importantly, life?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that answer to this first?
Yeah, I mean, see, that is the entire promise of AI, because every other technology, if you think about the car, it helps us save time by going faster. If we think about microwave, it helps us save time by heating up food faster. But there was no technology that can speed up our thinking and making decisions more correctly and more timely. Now AI can do it. Now, that's a very big promise. How do we practically do that in today's world, right? So when we work with any business, and this could be MSPs, or it could be real estate, or it could be education, healthcare, whatever it is, 80% of our profits come from 20% of our effort. That is just a generic truth about every business. The rest of the 80% is what we call the drudgery of work, which is, copying, pasting data from emails into spreadsheets, then into the CRM, into, all of that stuff. And now what we can do is, when we sit with a client, we can say, tell me about the drudgery of work. Where are you spending that 80% of your time that is taking up all this, your ability to think strategically, focus on the big picture, and you're always fighting fires, and that's the stuff that we can start to automate with AI agents. So think about AI agent as being, a fresh MBA student you hired right out of university, super smart, super hardworking, and it can learn your business, whatever flows you have in your business, within a day or two, and then work on them 24/7. And that's what is going to start reducing the pressure on your time, because now in the background all these things are working on their own. And by the way, these agents are not like the automations of the past where it just mindlessly keeps going. It can make a decision and it can say, okay, this invoice is more than 10,000. I better check with the manager and send it off to the manager. But 90% of the other invoices are below 10,000, so I can just process them on my own. And that saves a lot of time. That saves and builds a lot of kind of mental space in your mind, because you don't have to chase every little detail now, because
Mhm.
it's been done correctly, you know?
Yeah, and of course, the cool thing with AI is that it doesn't take vacation.
Yeah,
You don't have to give it special bonuses. All
correct.
right, you could it just is there to help you. In a way, it's like I get into a digital twin, right?
Correct.
Somebody's
Exactly.
working with you, for your benefits. 365 days a year. So now we have the promise, right? So AI could help you take all that mundane drudgery type work out of the game. And the big question for an MSP is, well, how? How are we going to do this? And this is what we're here to really do for the MSP community. We want to help you as an MSP and all your employees, right, in the MSP to basically get their own digital agent so they can then evolve it and train it and improve it and so on. And hopefully we can not only do this for the business owners, but everybody in their company and actually help them to do their jobs a little better. So that's what we plan to do, how we're going to do it. So step one, right, is of course, Manuj is going to be We'll be doing a whole series of educational things and talking a little bit more about this every month, so you can digest that however you wish, right? But the next step is really to engage with Manuj and tell him what's going on. Spend 30 minutes of your life
Yeah.
and express what it is. So tell me, Manuj, what does that first step look like when you speak to an MSP? What is
Yeah.
that going to be about?
See, when we talk to any business MSPs, we say, okay, break down your process of when the customer gets to know about you and they get a service and they are fully, onboarded customer. What are those steps? And then we start to narrow down what are the biggest steps, meaning in terms of investment, in terms of cost, in terms of time, in terms of human resources. What are those big steps? So every situation we have determined, like, it's between 7 to 15 steps. Customer finds out about you, they send you an inquiry, you send a quotation, they do a little bit of negotiation, then you send the contract, and then you onboard them, send a technician to their place, whatever, all these things, right? So then we say, okay, let's look at the biggest bang for the buck. Where can we spend $100 to automate, which will give you 150 in the next 3 months? You know, because it's very, very important. The very first implementation, very first step they take is net positive ROI. If it doesn't give them positive ROI in dollar amount, it's not going to go to the next step,
Mm.
right? So it's very important for a business to take a baby step, take a chunk of their work that they are doing right now, and say, okay, I'm going to invest this much. Implement an AI agent either off the shelf or customize it for me, and I expect to see a positive return on investment. And then we, come up with a plan. We share it with them. We get their team onboarded, because it's very, very important to get their team, uh, you know, um, bought into this, because if the team is not bought into it, it's not going to work no matter what. it's
Yeah.
it's a human and AI partnership, not just replacing humans. So
Yeah.
and then what happens is, just like with any other software engineering project, we start to implement it, deploy it. We have a regular touch points with the client and say how things are going. Wherever there are some tweaks that need to be made, we make it, and we ensure that, okay, now the promise was you get your time back, you get positive ROI, and now we, continue to add more layers to it.
Absolutely. So it's a process, right? And it's a bit of a journey that in a way never really ends, because it's always improving and getting better. The thing with it with an MSP is that there's lots of choices to kind of like bake and build your own AI agent. And if you know what you're doing, good luck. Do it, right? Get it done. If you're not quite sure, you want to ensure that you're doing it right, right? And putting all the privacy protections and all the guardrails and the cybersecurity issues, all these things you better be thinking about before you press that trigger and pull that trigger, right? Because there is no delete key in AI. So you want to make sure you get the right platform, the right tools, and the right process and how to approach it. And one of the things with AI that you can actually do better with people who understands it is not make mistakes, right? The last thing you want is to have an AI that's not what you want, all right? So the plan here is this: we want every MSP to have their own digital agent, right? And to do this, we want you to go through the right process. And we're doing a lot of work to figure out what that is, right? And that's going to start with a conversation, as Manuj talked about. What do you want to do? What's going on? Where are your pain points? And all that beautiful things. If you don't go through this, you're just not going to build it right. All right. So let's get that step first done. Then let's figure out what's the right platform for you. It doesn't really matter what the hell platform you want to use. They're all going to be roughly the same, right? And then you want to keep to tweak it and make sure your team understands how to interact with each other's digital agent, right? Because that's the beauty, right? If Manush, rather than me explaining it, because I've seen your AI agent. Tell me about how your AI agent interacts with your staff and your team.
So the very first thing is, see, think about AI as a raw gold mine. There's a lot of value in it, but if we dig the gold, like ore, gold ore, we cannot do anything. It's just dust. So what we do is we refine the gold, then we mold it into metal, and then we create ornaments or jewelry out of it. That's useful to me. So when we work with AI, we actually personalize it to your business, to your mind, your experience. You think differently from all other 7.999 billion people on the planet. So now when it starts to think like you are basically becoming a superhuman. Like you are becoming, Iron Man with a perfectly fitting suit with very, very high intelligence and knowledge of everything. Then the next step is understanding what is it that we want to do. This is where these conversations go, where we really drill down into every business and we say, okay, this is what you want to achieve. You want to achieve 50% more sales. You want to reduce 40% operational costs, all of these things, or spend less time. Now, the just like in a gold mine, you need to have equipment, drills and trucks and whatnot. So these in the AI world are called prompts. We are questioning the AI to give us the right output. So we customize these prompts in a way that is again personalized to you, your business, your preferences, and all of that. Now comes the automation part, because now we have tested the prompts. We know how to get the output from this gold mine of AI. Now we start to piece them together, all these prompts, all these workflows. So think of it as like in a factory there's an assembly line, and the raw material comes in. There's one machine that cuts it into pieces, then it goes to the assembly line, the next one molds it into a shape, and so on and so forth. AI agent is very similar. It's basically just running the prompts, getting the input, getting the output from the AI, saying, okay, now I understand this step. Now I move on to the next one, move on to the next one. This is what humans do anyways in all the businesses. We have front desk passes on to the back office passes off to the staff does the installment in of the equipment, all of that, right? So we just replicate the entire process using machines, and we just say this is something that humans can do, leave it to humans, and this is something machine can do, to pass it on to the machine, so that the humans will have more time to focus on what is more important for them. That's in a simplistic way,
Mm.
that's the process.
I get it. And the cool thing that I wanted you to talk about with your the way your staff interacts with your
Yeah,
AI
yeah.
is they could say, hey Manoj, they can ask the Manoj AI, right?
Correct.
Questions,
Yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
you answer them in your personality in the way you would do it, right?
Yeah. See, we all, as we all have lots of decades of like thinking and decision making and all of that. If you have some documents, like for me, it is a little bit lucky that I have a lot of interviews like this, a lot of articles. And so it's important to document some of these things from your mind, and then you upload it into AI, so that it starts to think like and then that's your digital version that you can hand over to your team. So if I'm traveling, I tell my staff, hey, if I'm not available, you go talk to this AI and ask the question, and it'll actually respond to you, in the same way that I will. And you can continue. And now we are extrapolating it to next level. Let's say you are a fan of Mark Cuban or Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, and you want to get some advice from them. I mean, a lucky person will be able to get like 10 minutes with them. But now you create a board of directors with all these billionaires, and you can say, hey, help me run my business, please. Help me on this financial matter, or this manufacturing problem, or whatever that is, right? So you have available to you all this wisdom of absolutely free, you know?
It's sometimes, Manoj, because AI is fairly new to the rest of the world as we kind of like get into the game, right? Um, but this thing can take on a lot of different forms. It's almost like, it's almost like a wind, it's in
Correct.
fire. It just changes in shapes. And one of the cool things with this is that once you understand how to express your and build your own personal digital AI, your agent, you can then see, right, how you can leverage other
Correct.
people's AI, right,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
to build
yeah.
your own stuff. And it's without a doubt, it's exciting. 2025 for us, Manuj, as we talked about, is going to be the year when we make AI practical for MSPs. I know there's already talking about AI until we're all sick of the word AI. Question is for an MSP is only one. How can I implement practical AI to help me save time and do better every day? And I think that's step one. And if you haven't gotten that step yet, that's the only step you really need to, focus on right now. And quite honestly, once you've done this step, the other steps of how you can help your customers forge a conversation around AI is just going to become easier. And I'm not even saying that you got to wait until your AI digital agent is perfect. You're going to see the dots being connected as you go through the process. So this year, 2025, is how we're going to help the MSP community to do better with AI. And folks like Manuj is available today to help guide you through that journey. Manuj, I'll leave you with the last word here. What's your message to MSPs as they look at the word AI in front of their desk? What do I
See,
do?
I believe that we need to adopt a AI first mindset. So rather than thinking what can we automate, think what if a super intelligent human being were to design my business? How will they do it? Because you will find a lot of inefficiencies we have created in our businesses just because humans are like that. So, so AI is like going from hunter gatherers to farming. It's a completely different mindset shift. But think about hunter gatherers had to like roam around 24/7 to gather food. And then when farming came along, they said, no, 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 you just chill and put some seeds in the ground, and after 6 months you'll have lots of food. So think along those lines that when you start to solve a problem, AI first, how can AI do it rather than the other way around? And then whatever is left over, that's the human value, you know?
Yeah,
So
got it. So here's the ask, folks. If you're doing AI and you love it, great, congratulations. If you're kind of like not sure, haven't started yet, looking for a way to get started in your AI journey, now is the time. Because, and I just want to say this, the faster you implement the AI agent, if you will, the more it's going to learn, faster it's going to learn, and the more you're going to be ahead of the curve. So you don't want to wait until everybody's got one, and then you jump in later, right? You want to start sooner rather than later is the key. So reach out to us, ask for information. Let's connect you with Manuj and his team, and let's see where we go with AI. All right, Manuj, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Cheers.
same here. Thank you so much.